What up people, how's it going? This is Bharat here, welcome back to yet another video. So basically right now I'm just driving to work and I'm also looking forward to a day after all this quarantine is ending. But one thing that I wanted to discuss with a lot of you people here is that right now I'm driving a car, and ever since the Google's auto cars or the auto driving cars or Tesla's auto driving cars came in, I was actually really interested into learning more about that kind of artificial intelligence or that kind of machine learning. But I've been having a lot of difficulty in learning that, a lot of different reasons for that, but still I'm not able to actually understand what really happens there. So that gave me a lot of doubts as to whether if I'm really learning to become a programmer or is it a good thing to become a programmer, because I couldn't understand the concepts that are involved there. So this video is in particular to what are the lot of failed attempts at me learning the machine learning. So I've stuck to a plan right now, and I'm trying to learn machine learning for more than a year now, but a lot of failed attempts. So I wanted to discuss with you guys what are the failed attempts at machine learning that I committed, and also to give you guys a glimpse into what are the different mistakes that I did so that you guys don't do the same mistakes. So that's what this video is going to be about. Let me finish my work, come back and talk to you guys in depth about this, because it's a very important video for a lot of you people out there.
Oh yeah. That was a very long day today for me in India right today. After the quarantine, I actually spent close to 8 hours today just doing all the basic kind of setups and everything. So the going forward days are going to be really difficult as well for people working in IT. I'm going to be talking about that in upcoming videos, but this video in particular is going to be about what exactly is my experience with machine learning. So in my live streams, I've talked about it. In my blog articles, I've talked about it. But why exactly is machine learning difficult for some people out there? I've been asked a lot of this question couple of times before. People asking me, do you know machine learning? Where I would say I don't know, even though I've been struggling to learn the concepts actually very thoroughly. I'm kind of a person who wants to do everything right from the scratch and want to build stuff from scratch instead of directly giving me an API to call. I'm not that kind of a person. I'm actually very invested in trying to understand the basics of it very much. But with machine learning, it's kind of about more about the statistics and your stochastic learning, your max at the heart. So I found the concepts a little bit difficult, but I've been trying for more than around 8 months now. So I wanted to make this video to make sure that to help you guys in understanding what are the mistakes that I did, and hopefully you guys do not do that. This video is split into 3 important parts. The first part being I'm going to be laying out my actual timeline for what I learned and where I started and what mistakes I made. Second part will be mostly about what exactly am I trying to learn newly right now. And third part will also be my suggestions and what to do for people who are trying to learn it for the first time. So these are going to be the 3 parts. I'm going to be starting directly with the first part. Alright, so the timeline starts way back around 2019 June, when actually I was primarily invested in trying to build applications and mobile applications in the particular. But I wanted to also learn the concepts of machine learning because I had this interesting project that I wanted to take up in my work, and I wanted to make sure that I learned the concepts really well, and I did learn the concepts. So this particular project was about computer vision, which is nothing but your images and your videos, where I wanted to actually do write an algorithm on top of that so that I could use that algorithm for one of the projects that I'm actually right now working on in my workplace actually. So that was actually the goal of it. However, I started it around my May-June timeline, and I learned about the computer vision logic alone and the algorithm that I wanted to write. So I was very focused on what I wanted, because the output I had to submit my project in a month's time. That was done. I completed that up, and I was actually done with the project by July end. But still, I was very much interested. The interest had by this time peaked out so much that I wanted to know more about your machine learning in particular. It's a very vast concept. So with respect to your computer vision, I knew a little bit about what exactly does it do, and more importantly about what are the different things that are involved in it. So I wanted to expand my knowledge and learn more about computer vision. But still, August, I couldn't actually touch or do anything new about it. I was actually very much also invested into building applications for Flutter and my channel, and I couldn't do a lot of things there. But the actual pinch or the weightage or the difficulty started around the September-October timeline, when I actually sat down to learn the machine learning, which I felt was really difficult. It started as a very simple thing, but soon the concepts became very very difficult to learn. There was suddenly huge number of graphs involved and calculus and your statistics involved, which I couldn't grasp at all. So it also had given me this question if I was actually learning it the proper way, or was it actually good for me to learn it at that point of time, or have I jumped into at the wrong time. A lot of different negative questions in my head. Switch over for another 4 months. I still couldn't learn anything. I know the basics of machine learning and everything, where people usually stop and they directly jump into all the concepts and the available libraries and everything. But I'm not that kind of a person. I want to know the basics very very strongly. So I'm trying to invest my time. I'm trying to invest every bit of time that I get, but still I'm not able to understand it. So that gave me this realization if I'm doing it the wrong way. My learning was really really wrong. So far I've actually helped myself learn a couple of new languages. I would say even 3 new languages. I learned Python on my own. I learned even your Node.js on my own. I learned all the basics of Java on my own. So all these were self-learning programming languages, and I thought I would use the same technique to also learn machine learning. Machine learning being a very important, not just a language, it's not a computer language, but more of a concept. So it's a lot of theory involved, and usually you do not get that much of theory or hands-on if you're trying to do all of the self-learning. So okay, I am now thinking about taking up a course, and now that's the time when I spend close to $12,000 or $250 around that timeline. I spent $200 in February, March of 2020. I spent that much of my amount of money into picking up a course. So I did use that course into a good way. I tried learning it much faster also. Now I've actually crossed the initial barrier. Now I understand what are the concepts really properly. I understood what actually is the application for machine learning, but still I couldn't get to have that kind of an experience to go and build an algorithm on my own. Switch to April of this year, this 2020, I was again presented with another important task of building another project, which is this time related to textual and the way you talk or way you speak, voice and text related kind of a project. This is something that I took up. I wanted to do it for myself also, and the company that I'm in right now is actually very much invested in getting this startup culture. So it's up to you to decide what project you want, decide what you want to do with it, and how you want to do with it. So I decided I was going to go through the ML way because I understood a lot of different concepts by then, but I wasn't still not interested, or I wasn't still understanding a lot of different ideas or algorithms that were used in that concept. So I now this time was very much invested into learning the natural language processing, or the NLP, which is another sub-segment of machine learning, and now I understand that I've learned nothing. I've learned nothing with respect to NLP. The concepts that I knew about machine learning were just generic in nature. I wasn't understanding a lot of different things that these NLPs were doing. And now the timeline currently when I'm making this video is going to be almost June. And I've spent close to a month and a half, and I've understood a lot of different things about NLP. So that actually also gave me this idea about making a video series of things like videos on how do you actually learn your machine learning properly the right way. This isn't something that I'm talking about in terms of people who are going to colleges and universities and getting their degrees in machine learning. I'm actually very much in awe of them because the theory is so huge, you cannot do it the self-learning way. I understand that, but also at the same time I'm trying to help people out here who want to do it the right way, but also at the same time they don't want to spend so much money into a course or a degree. So this video series is also going to be coming out in months or 2 months time. I'm really not sure what the timeline is going to be. That's primarily because I don't know anything about machine learning. It's just my perspective of how I wanted to learn it and what mistakes I made. So I'm thinking of making a series. Let's talk about it when the time comes about it, but I'm just letting you guys know that's going to be something coming out in this video channel. Anyway, switching back to the storyline here, I am actually right now presented into this NLP kind of a project which I'm going to take up, but also that's giving me a lot of enough time and space to learn about NLP in particular. So the machine learning itself, you see, is split into a lot of different channels. There is going to be something with respect to computer vision, there is something with respect to NLP, there's also something with respect to your reinforcement learning, where you have your supercars or your cars that is going to be learning by seeing the environment. And there are a lot of different subsections like that. You cannot sit down and learn every subsection completely, There are a lot of different things that are involved in these subsections because it's a research topic on itself. But then machine learning in general, the broadest perspective is to make sure that the machine learn what to do. So there are going to be a lot of different algorithms that are present, and that's what you're going to be using. So this is going to be the sketch for the entire machine learning concept. I have it in my mind, but still I cannot actually put it into paper. Now this time is where I decide that I'm going to be taking a step back, understanding what are all the mistakes that I made, and I'm going to be making sure that I'm not going to do that mistake going forward. Starting with number one, the first mistake that I made was I considered machine learning to be yet another kind of a programming language. See, if you see with programming languages, the concepts of programming language is very, very simple. Every programming language that you see will have an object, a class, a function, and also all these classes will be inherited. So this is going to be the basics of any programming languages. There are a certain kind of programming languages which do not follow the same construct, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about all the major programming languages. So first mistake is that I thought that machine learning was also going to be around the same idea. It's going to be about machines that learn, so there's going to be algorithms that I have to learn. I will just plug in this algorithm and I'm actually done with it. But the algorithms on itself is actually trying to mimic most of the things that that as a human being we do. So it also involves a lot of calculus and your stochastic learning, your stochastic mathematics, your statistics, and all these different kind of things involved. It's also going to be making it super difficult if you want to learn all of them, if you want to learn the mathematics part of the machine learning, and only then you can go forward. If you are actually like that, you're adamant like me, your second mistake is to not do that. You cannot learn the entire concept of machine learning in just under 6 months. If somebody is telling you that, they're lying. So there's going to be a huge vast number of things that are available in machine learning, and these are all research areas by itself, meaning people are spending close to 20 years of their lifetime in understanding what can be done better. So you cannot get all the concepts of that and learn it under 6 months. Big mistake, don't do that. And the third mistake that I also did was to spend so much amount of money and thinking I can get a course, I can get it done, I can just understand all the concepts and I'll be done. So all these courses are designed in such a way that it's going to be very, very simple at the beginning of the course, and as you think that it's going to be super easy, I'm going to be learning the basics, right? As soon as you cross a certain threshold, or as soon as you cross a certain point, you understand that the instructor doesn't know what he's talking about and you are very much confused about what you're learning. So all these courses have been like that, except for a couple of courses I won, wherein both of them were actually free courses which I took. The one is actually the most famous course on Udemy or Coursera, I guess. It's the Andrew Ng's machine learning course. Probably the best course that I took by far, because of the concepts that is laid out in the first initial 10 sections. The basics are pretty tight in that, and I'm going to be recommending that also in part of this video. If you want to start somewhere, you start there. 3 mistakes done. The fourth mistake was to actually think you can do something, or you can actually learn machine learning, a concept or subsection of machine learning in a given period of time. So they say there's a month A and month B, you want to spend 2 months of time in learning a concept of machine learning. You cannot learn the entire thing that is there available in machine learning just 2 months. It's going to be the basics of whatever concepts you want to learn in the 2 months, and you're going to completely apply that, and you're going to keep on applying it for at least years to come. Only then where you can understand the different ideas behind that. So also one more suggestion from my side will be to concentrate on the topic or subsection that you want to pick, and also not just look at the end product, rather the journey itself. Meaning, I want to learn about TensorFlow. It's a very famous Python library by Google. There's a PyTorch library from Facebook, and there are other important 3P, 4P, 3P, 2P libraries that are from Python that is going to be towards machine learning. Now, I was very fixated on learning the concept of, say for example, your gradient descent. I wanted to understand what is a gradient descent in machine learning. I wanted to learn about what is the convolutional neural network in machine learning. But I never took the time to understand what is the basics of this and what should I do to get the application, get the output that I want. When I started thinking about the output that I want, for example, I want to create a data set where I want to understand what are the sections of people who will be diagnosed with some disease at some point of time. So these are all actually a topic of data mining, if you ask me, but there's also a little bit of machine learning algorithms that's being put into place. So I started understanding how do you break down a problem, how do you actually look at it, and when I start thinking about that, instead of the actual dynamics or the actual intricacies of the algorithm itself, you'll be learning much faster and also understanding a lot of varied algorithms in a given span of time. So that's going to be the fourth and fifth, I would say, fifth mistake that I made. I didn't do that. I was very invested in learning the algorithms first, and I was actually at a tipping point where I decided, oh my god, I cannot understand anything. So those are my 4 or 5 mistakes that I made, and I also would recommend anybody watching this video to not go into that. Don't try to learn everything in a given period of time thinking that I know everything, I'm going to be learning everything in 6 months of time. It's not going to happen. It's never happened. The final section, again, we wanted to discuss about the different courses that I took or different materials that I used to get a good grasp of the machine learning concepts. Particular subsection involves your NLP and computer vision. So I had different resources that I used, but also one mistake that I again did should have been in the previous section. But again, the mistake that I made was to depend upon just one course. I would take one course and trying to understand everything that is there in that course or everything that is there in that book, and I would fail it miserably. Time and again, I failed it close to 5-6 times. I would start a course and abandon it 3 weeks in or 4 weeks in. Similarly, start a book and abandon it just 5 days in, 6 days in. So the biggest mistake again is to think that one resource or one book is going to give you everything. The machine learning itself is a very, very vast concept. So primary resources that I'm going to be dropping in the link is going to be around the subsections of computer vision and NLP, but also there is a couple of free open courses that you can take, covers the basics of machine learning, all of that in the description. The one important course that I would actually recommend anybody watching this video to get a grip of the Andrew NG's machine learning course. It's available in Coursera or Udemy, I'm not sure. The second also is a YouTube channel that I'm going to be giving million stars because that's the very basic understanding I got of computer vision from that. It's, I think, 3 blue 1 brown, I'm not sure. I would drop the link about that also in the YouTube description. You can check that out. But these two are going to be laying the foundation for you. But what about the next? The next is going to be, as soon as you understand about the concepts of machine learning, you'll be very much interested into learning the multiple subsections that are available. Starting from your computer vision, your NLP, you have data mining, you also have reinforcement learning, your neural network. A lot of these different subsections are there, and also there are a lot of concepts that you need to learn. So you pick a topic or pick a subsection and try to understand what are the different things that you can do in that. Primarily for me, computer vision has been handled in multiple different ways. There are a lot of researches that are going on, but I would say people have arrived at 98.5 to 99% consistency in understanding computer vision. That's not the same case with new NLP. So natural language processing is still at research phases. A lot of different algorithms are yet to be derived or written to understand about that. So I had a little bit of idea of computer vision before coming into machine learning basics, because like I told you at the start of this video, I had to do something for a project, so which was my work. So I had to learn that particular concept alone, and I used it. Now when I came into NLP, it was a little bit easier for me because I already know some of the basic algorithms like your backpropagation algorithm or your neural network. So what are these different things? So I understand that, I'm putting it into NLP, I'm learning the actual NLP concepts now. So it's going to be like that. You have to take it up in a section by section basis, understand what are your strengths, what are interests in particular, where do you want to apply it for. That's going to be the major game changer. If you're going to apply it for a project that you're going to do, great, start with that and you'll be learning a lot of different concepts in no time. But if just floating around without any project in mind, trying to understand what is good for you, you could actually start with computer vision, great things that are available, great algorithms that are available, and start building from there, because computer vision is one of the main key research areas for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So yeah, that's going to be the tips that I wanted to give, and also the storyline that I wanted to share with you guys in this video. If you found this video helpful, I would actually like to know what was actually helpful for you. Have you actually faced the same problems? Let me know about that in the comment section below. I'm also going to be making a video series on machine learning in particular, but like I told you at the start of this video, I am not in any way a machine learning guru or pandit or anything of that sort. I would say I'm still a student in machine learning and not a professional as such. So if you find any comment of wrong things that I'm saying about, I would highly appreciate if you could put that out in the comment section so that I can learn from that. I'm always looking to learn. So that's it for this video. Probably in upcoming videos I'm going to be talking more about machine learning and how to do stuff, and in my perspective as such, in as a student's perspective, how can you do it a much faster way. So that's going to be the upcoming video series planned for my channel right now. And also there's going to be a lot of different programming languages as well, so a lot of new content coming up. Make sure you stay tuned for all of that, and drop a like if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. That's very important. Let me meet you until then. It's Bharat. Peace out. Have a super awesome day.